Well, it's Saturday the 10th of April. This is episode 2114 of 301 Permanently Moved.online, a personal podcast 301 seconds in length, written, recorded and edited by me, at the JMO. Norse and Old English have a grammatical feature known as kenning. The closest thing in modern English to kenning is perhaps the portmanteau. Its literal meaning in French is carry cloak, but translates into English usually as luggage. A portmanteau inherently has an understanding that two words are packed inside. Brony, mockumentary, sitcom, Pokemon all come to mind, as do shepherd, sheepherder, squander, scatter and wander, podcast, iPod and broadcast, or the humble cronut. As a consequence of the Enlightenment, English began to favour literalism. It pins words to ideas like butterflies on a corkboard to describe the whole world. There's a reason there's more than 500,000 words in the dictionary. English invents words or reaches for other words packed inside to describe something new by their combination. Sometimes these new words utterly fail to convey the actual meaning of the thing that they are trying to describe. How about the word defeated the moment it was invented? Brexit. Metaphor tries to correct for this. Her eyes were glistening jewels, as does analogy. But both fail, in my estimation, to produce new meaning. Kenning, on the other hand, is a figure of speech or amblage of two words that circle around an idea, using multiple words rather than invoking it or describing it directly. To quote Wikipedia on the matter, a kenning is a compound that employs figurative language in place of a more concrete single-word noun. Kennings create meaning and require thoughtful interpretation in a way that's almost unthinkable in the day-to-day, especially on social media. For example, the word onrad, as found in Beowulf. Hon means whale, rad, a road or a path. Put them together and you get Honrad, or whale road, which means the sea. The ocean is not an empty place, Honrad says. It belongs to the whale. Human beings crisscross it on our adventures, but when we do it, we are trespassing on a very large mystery. Some kennings have survived through time. We use them without thinking. The ideas contained within their orbits are fixed in culture, so we require little to no work to decipher their meaning. A home being a dwelling place, or night owl describing someone who stays up late. New kennings do still crop up every now and then. For example, a cancer stick isn't a metaphor, it's two words in orbit of an idea, as is couch potato, gas guzzler, or landline. Using the words land and line to refer to the telephone socket is wonderful. Two words in an elegant orbit that produce a conceptual placeholder, rather than a description. It's a shame that modern kennings are so simple. Some old kennings hold complex concepts and powerful meaning. For example, weather of weapons means a war. Or, for the Game of Thrones fans, a storm of swords is an Anglo-Saxon kenning for battle. You think that they were both metaphors, but they aren't. The coherence of words in orbit of one another produce more meaning by their dance than using a single one. I've never been in a war or a battle, but weather of weapons gives me a better emotional understanding of what it might be like than using the single word alone. Some of you are probably thinking of twisted language from the Yamahawa shaman of Peru. Speaking to anthropologist Graham Townsley, one said, "Twisted language brings me close, but not too close. With normal words, I would crash into things. With twisted ones, I circle around them. I can see them clearly." According to Townsley, it is deliberately constructed in an elliptical and multi-referential fashion as to mirror the refractory nature of the beings who are their objects. Townsley's use of the word elliptical is actually what prompted this entire show, as I've been thinking about ideas with orbits and edges a lot. When I was studying philosophy at university, I had a lecturer named Arthur Gibson. He was a fan of red wine, Wittgenstein, and the life and opinions of Tristram Shandy, a book full of digressions, interruptions, and stories within stories. In one of our tutorials, the conversation had been going round and around about literally everything other than the subject that we were supposed to be studying, with a growing detectable frustration from the more direct students in the room. They felt we were wasting our time. But Arthur explained, by discussing everything and everything around the topic, we had, out the corner of our eyes, begun to glimpse the nature of the subject in question. The subject had been very much at hand. It had dominated the entire topic of our conversation by its omission, a giant hole in the conversation, the blind men touching the elephant in the room, as it were. By not addressing the subject directly, we collectively found its edges. The gravity of a kenning indicates the intensity of a concept it tries to contain. Orbits, gyroscopes, gyres bring to mind angular velocity that accrete around a star, or an idea. We need more kennings. It's a better way of generating understanding. Reject the social media literalism that flatten ideas with a label or a name. Let's dance around the edges of ideas to know them better.